Welcome to Conservative Motivations. So, you guys might have seen this headlines. Democrats are wobbling under the pressure to end the shutdown. And I think what this reveals is a little bit more of Trump's motivation behind why he's sticking to his guns on the shutdown, why he's not giving an inch. And it's because what everyone realizes, but no one wants to say, is that the Democrats have no leg to stand on in this fight. Um, the shutdown was an option they choose to take. They chose to take. However, it wasn't an option that plays within the rules. It's basically the Democrats went on strike and they bargained in for better wages. But you're not talking about an employer here. You're talking about fellow congressmen. So the Democrats created a dynamic that didn't exist. They wanted a boss worker relationship, whereas they're the worker, they're the ones taking care of business for the people, and it's the boss Republicans who are the mean, exploitative boss who they needed to stand up to in order to get better wages. You guys, kind of a loose analogy, but you guys can see what I'm saying. The Democrats subjected themselves. They didn't go into this thing on an equal playing field like, hey, yeah, we shut the government down. Now what? No, what they did was shut the government down and then try to use some weird reverse psychology to say, well, this is the Republican shutdown because they have more members in Congress, knowing full well that full control would be 60 votes. If they needed that, then they could bypass anything the Democrats did. But other than that, it's not control that the Republicans have. What they just have is a little bit more than a simple majority, which requires the Democrats to vote. Now, they may feel like by the fact that the Republicans need 7 votes, that, they somehow hold some sort of leverage. But really, at the end of the day, if the outcome is 7 votes or the government shuts down, then you're not as powerful as you think you are. What you are is part of the process. It's like when Trump tried to challenge the election, what they told Trump was, hey, Mike Pence, his role is strictly ceremonial. It's not one that really has real sway because of the situation you guys find yourself in. This position is more or less ceremonial. And that's basically what we have here with the Democrats. They took a ceremonial post as basically is what they're in at this point because they can't really do much to drive change. So being in their ceremonial role, they're supposed to sign off under the logic of the government. They're supposed to sign off and keep things moving until the next battle, until the next opportunity to convince the public that they should be on your side. This idea that if we don't get what we want, we're just going to shut the whole thing down. It's something they've been wanting to test ever since Trump's been in office. You guys remember they had a brief shutdown in Trump's first administration. So I guess this time they need to make sure it has more of an impact. So those folks who are saying this thing's over sometime soon, I don't know. I kind of struggle with that. I think we may be in for at least another good month or so, because why would we want them to come back? If the government comes back together and we still have the same festering wounds and the same beliefs, then we're just going to be headed for a shutdown again. So I don't think they should open the government at this point until things are much more clear as to what's going to happen in the future. But again, the Democrats wobbling is nothing new. It's nothing surprising, simply because the math was never on their side. They don't have the ability or the leg room to say, hey, you guys need to come and talk to us. Until then, we are going to keep for us, and then we got to like the food. If we don't like the food, there's no guarantee we're going to let this thing open back up. So in between shutting down the place and not opening up until they like what's on the menu, the Democrats have really overplayed their hand here. I think you guys are going to be able to see real soon, and this is for the reason for the wobble. So let's go ahead and look at a little bit of this article for reference. It says the Senate Democrats are taking a close look at Republican proposals to pay all federal employees, including essential and furloughed workers, as they're under pressure from the nation's largest federal union to pass a clean continuing resolution and reopen the government. So how that translates is Democrats are trying to save face. They know that federal workers are their biggest bread and butter, and they're getting ready to betray these people in ways never before seen. So they're in a quick panic to try to get something passed to resolve this situation, basically to extend the shutdown. The Democrats are looking for any way to extend the shutdown as long as possible without losing face. But that's going to be damn near impossible when you consider so many branches of government that the Democrats themselves have gotten the American people dependent on. If we weren't dependent on some of these programs, like for life and death, as the Democrats have designed, then ironically they may have more of a leg to stand on because they'd have more time to continue with their shutdown. But as be that as it may, they have so many people by the count of millions who vitally depend on the government that they stand a chance of blowing up their own programs and undermining their own belief in big government. So they got a quandary these folks have put themselves in, and their pride won't let them get out of. Just a little more here before we wrap up. It says they also plan to introduce legislation to pay for supplemental nutritional assistance program benefits to extend funding for the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, which provides essential nutrition assistance for lower income mothers. Okay, and this is the part about the Democrat agenda that really bother me, is that what these folks are fighting for are programs that essentially replace the father. They replace the male in any of these dynamics. I mean, when you're talking about supplemental SNAP and WIC, these are things that have become a problem because Democrats have simply chased off all males, all masculinity, anything having to do with the male form other than the government. They want a tough, robust, masculine government, muscular government, but they don't want those attributes in men. They just want us out the way. So what men are doing basically is standing in the way between the left and the government. And so by getting us out of the way with these programs, they've kept us at a safe distance. And lo and behold, if families need to start pulling together to support each other and help each other out, again, the Democrats are foiled because they've always pushed the idea that family is fragile or may not even be there for you at all. But the one constant, the one thing you can always depend on is Uncle Sam. And they're undermining that as well because they're not there. Starting tomorrow, or the 1st, things are going to get real iffy. It says the developments reveal Democrats are looking for a way to ease the impact of the 4-week shutdown on federal workers who are struggling to pay their daily expenses on lower income Americans who may soon run out of food. Publicly, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and his leadership team are sticking to their arguments that President Trump is the one who needs to start negotiating for health care subsidies. That's right. Trump needs to come over and figure out a way to shove billions back into insurance companies in order to appease the Democrats into opening up the government. I mean, this is the most craziest shutdown that I've ever seen, if you think about it. The reasons for it are unexplainable. There has to be something more going on. And I think what's going on is a lot of the politics people are talking about on the side. The idea that Chuck Schumer needs to show the far left that he has some cojones is very much plausible because 7 months ago when he stopped the shutdown, he got destroyed. I mean, he couldn't even finish a book tour he was on because everywhere he went, he got heckled about not shutting down the government. So it was inevitable that this was going to happen. I think along the way, the Democrats just needed to find a way to justify it, and probably about a few weeks to a month out, they probably had settled on, well, let's make this about healthcare. It's going to happen. So what's our strongest case we could make? And I think they gambled on healthcare, but that's already becoming a past subject as we get into November. The premium hikes are going to already be here. Now we're going to be talking about a lot more pain rolling down the hill. So let's see what the Democrats do to respond to that. But again, I do think we're seeing some wobbling due to this immense pressure to stand up for their own programs and for their own philosophy that government is the be all end all. That is being tested in a way the Democrats, I don't think they thought about until now. But it'll be interesting to see how they get themselves out of this one. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This is Conservative Motivations. Wanted to show you guys a little bit about why the Republicans are motivated to just basically stand their ground. Well, that's all I got on this one, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see y'all on the next video.